What's going on, rock stars, teachers, parents, admin, if you're watching this once again? We are back with another episode of That's right, folks. Breaking news. Apparently, they are getting ready to open up daycares again. I know. It's been 4 months since I've been out of work. I don't know about everybody else, but I have been out of my classroom now for 4 months, and it's been interesting, but the Daily News posted this article first, or at least this is the first news source that I saw it from. My work mother actually sent me the link for the Daily News, and you know what? When I first opened it, I did get a little excited because it meant, the kids are going back to school, people will be able to go back to work. Here's your catch 22 on that whole entire scenario. Okay, so I actually found someone had tagged me in another news source. So I'm gonna go off of what NBC New York, that's I believe channel 4 here in the city. We're gonna read what they have, and then if I can find the Daily News article on my Kindle as well, we'll touch into that. But I feel it all honestly might say the same stuff. So, okay. So the title of said article is NYC Board of Health to vote on reopening 3,000 child care centers citywide next week. Next week. Today is July 7th as I'm filming this. It is July 7th. I'm going to try to put this up either tonight or tomorrow. So we are as accurate could possibly be, folks. But next week, keep in mind the 4th was this past weekend, and I know a lot of you were at the beaches, you were at barbecues, you were with friends, you were out of state. Ain't y'all putting all these states back in quarantine? Okay, that's the first, that's like the top of the issues we're going to have right now. So they have some bullet points. What to know. Number 1, NYC's Board of Health is expected to vote Tuesday on a plan to reopen 3,000 child care centers citywide as early as next week. Number 2, safety guards would apply, including social distancing caps on kids per room, mask wearing, and limited toy sharing, among other measures. Number 3, more parents are returning to work as NYC continues its reopening process, and Mayor de Blasio is concerned some may have to choose between their jobs and their kid. The fate of schools is still up in the air. Now, we scroll down a little bit. It says strict state safety. Try to say that 3 times fast, would you? Strict state safety requirements would apply should the plan move forward, including a 15-child cap per room, social distancing, mask mandates for staff and kids, daily health screenings, and frequent cleaning and disinfection, among other COVID precautions. Programs would be inspected for compliance. Now, I'm going to hurt a lot of feelings. I'm going to trigger a lot of people with this. Number 1, a lot of your backup programs, a lot of your daycares in a sense have drop-in and backup programs. I don't know about places outside of New York, but I know in New York City, our kinder preps and our school-age classrooms hold way more than 15 kids. You think these companies are really going to kill clientele, turn down money for 15 capacity classroom? Okay, you think that. The social distancing. I don't know about y'all, but I know about me. I'm an infant teacher. Have you tried to social distance your kids? Have you tried to social distance 8 kids under the age of 1? It's not possible. It's not. Actually, I think social distancing kids under the age of 2, not possible. Not. Then I read in a Facebook group, someone said, oh, with infants, you can social distance their cribs. Now, if I can find the picture I took of my classroom when I first got it, my classroom was pretty big. Considering some of the previous classrooms that I've had, my classroom was pretty big, but it wasn't big enough to put 6 feet between 8 cribs. I had 1 crib by the primary entrance. I had 1 on the wall by my rocking chair, and then I had 6 cribs lined up against the wall. And it was barely room to fit in between each crib. How am I social distancing 6 cribs, 6 feet apart? When somebody, if you figured it out, let me know. Let me know, especially when your infant programs. You Google how much 1 infant for a 9-hour day at a daycare is. And you tell me if you're going to tell a parent they can't come back to your program or you're disenrolling them because you need X amount of kids in a classroom. Okay. The mask compliances. Now, that'll work for your preschool programs, like I'll say 2s and ups, because I feel I've worked with a lot of very smart 2-year-olds. So I feel a 2-year-old will keep somewhat of a mask on during the day. Infants. How are you telling infant teachers to wear masks when an infant relies on this? Majority of the way infants react to a lot of stuff is facial expression. You ever watch an infant fall? I loved it. I love watching my kids fall because they would look at me for a reaction. And when I didn't react, they were fine. I notice it's always when I go, oh my God, are you okay? That's when they start crying and they get scared and they react. When you don't react to a kid falling, they don't react. The only way I see that working in infants is if you give me a, what is this thing? The shield guard, this thing right here. However, infants like to pull at stuff. This is why we're told not to wear these to work. Because have you ever had an infant snatch an earring out of your ear? It hurts like hell, actually. I've had a few hoops snatched out of my ear in my day. What else? The frequent cleaning. Now again, I don't know what you do at your program. I don't know what you do in your classroom. I know Infant B. Infant B was cleaned and sanitized heavily. Shout out to Mommy Claudette, because I don't know where I would have been without her, but Claudette would have our room spick and span. Now, there are some of you who you don't like cleaning your classrooms. I have seen it. I will not shout people out in the hundreds of coworkers I've made in the 10-year career that I've had. I am not going to purposely shout anybody out, but you know who you are. Where your classrooms are filthy in the teacher stations, and then you're not cleaning the toys. The only age groups I can say I've honestly seen the toys get cleaned heavily are infants and toddlers. And when I say heavily, I mean they're being picked up during the day. They are being sanitized during the day. You know who impressed me when I started working with them and I saw how crazy their cleaning routine was? Freddie. I was so confused at one point. I'm like, Freddie, why are you cleaning your toys at 1 in the afternoon and your kids are all 6:30 pickups. Freddie would have a basket, like a laundry basket full of toys, and Freddie was cleaning her toys at 1 p.m. You know what her kids did in the afternoon? Table activities, imagination, gross motor. That's what they did. I hate teachers that say there's never enough time in the day to clean, especially you teachers that have kids that take 3-hour nap blocks. That's your toddlers, your 2s, and your 3-year-olds. Hell, even your for certain programs, your kinder prep and your school age kids. You have nothing but time in your day to have your toys clean. I have seen it where teachers will just do a light mist of that bleach water nonsense, which that'll be another talk for another day. They do the bleach water mist and the toys are not being misted. It'll be like the top layer of toys got misted and the shelf, like the front of the shelf, because if you move the basket and you see the dust that's behind a lot of these toys, we'll be here all day if I'm still talking about it, but that's neither here nor there. So a lot of you are not going to want to stay to clean your toys, and if that's the case, I suggest you don't go back to your job right now. Then if that's the case, you really need to wait until Corona is no longer a thing, because some of y'all, it ain't it, chief. I promise you it ain't it. Let's see, what else? As far as the whole parents choosing their jobs versus their kids, let's not spin that narrative, please. I'm going to say not to spin that narrative, because a lot of parents are able to work from home right now. Say that again. A lot of parents that can afford these $2,000, $3,000 tuition a month programs are working from home. What do you mean you're picking between your kids and your job? You're not. You're working from home. You're looking for a babysitter, call me. I don't got no problem. Come find me. I'll come take care of your kid while you're working from home. Let's not spin the narrative that people are choosing their job. Like, unless you're like me and you're barely seeing 30, 40K a year, that's different. If you're seeing well above 40, 50K, take that to another video. I ain't trying to hear it. I'm really not. Because I have fellow coworkers who they are going to have to pick between going back to work and a kid. When a lot, this goes back to this video when I asked how are you going to take care of your teachers. A lot of your programs don't offer childcare solutions for their teachers. They want their teachers to pay crazy money to bring their kids to work with them. I ask again, what do I like bringing my kid to work with me and I'm paying you to pay me to come to work? I will not. I will not. I bind and rebuke it. I will not. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me until I get an admin position, because being a teacher, I would not want to have a kid and have to pick between my job and my kid. I'm sorry. That's really it. The rest of the NBC article is pretty much asking what's going to happen come September with the public schools. Again, the CDC, that requirement that went up in that last video that I posted, again, it sounds good. It sounds good. Even this little, I'm hot looking at that. I don't know what that's supposed to do, but if that's what y'all are fitting to put in public schools, by all means, do what you do, make it work for you. Let me see if I can find the Daily News article. Okay, I found the Daily News article as well. It pretty much says the same thing NBC said. Yeah, 15 kids max. So that means a lot of your preschool programs are about to suffer. When a lot of these preschool classrooms they will squeeze in. I'm not going to say that they take that, you know, we're being politically correct. Some of these programs, I believe the preschool ratio is 1-8. I've seen it where they've done it 1-10 based on the ages of the kids. So that means either it's 2 teachers to 16 kids or 2 teachers to 20 kids. Kinder preps in certain programs, that would be like your 4-year-olds teetering on 5. That would be 1 teacher to 12 kids, 2 teachers to, depending on the size of the classroom, 20, maybe 21 kids. Try social distancing that. Try social distancing 20 kids on mats at nap time. And you let me know how that works for you. So you mean to tell me you are willing to, you're going to cut money from your program? Okay. I can't wait to see how a lot of this turns out. There's somebody in this article, I don't know who this person is. I'm not going to sit here and actually reread the whole article. Okay, wait. The health commissioner said she didn't expect 3,000 daycares to immediately reach maximum capacity, which she puts at 150,000 children. 150,000 children. That's not even counting the adults in the building. Okay. Yeah, that's really it. There's nothing else really worthy to talk about in those 2 articles. Again, I don't know how any of this is going to work. In a real world, it would. However, the state of the world that we're living in right now, I don't know. I don't know if it can work. Yeah, I really don't. This is not even trying to be negative about the forthcoming situation. This is being realistic. And I know this was a problem that one of my bosses had with me because she felt that I was always being so negative. And it's never a matter of being negative. It's a matter of, one, I know what I'm talking about 90% of the time. 2, you have to be realistic. All of that, look at the positive side of stuff, sounds good, but you have to look at the reality of what you're dealing with. We are talking about children. And a lot of y'all know this is always a soft spot for me when it comes to discussions. Kids are a very sensitive topic for me. We're talking about people's children. We're talking about kids that have not, most of them, have not seen each other for about 4.5, 5 months physically. They haven't seen their teachers physically in 4 months. So now you have to also think about the whole reintroduction process that you're doing. A lot of these kids have now aged out of certain components. So for example, my class, if they decide to open everything, say in 2 weeks, out of the 8 kids that I've had, only 1 would still technically be in my class because he doesn't turn 1 until August. Everybody else has not seen me in 4 months and they have aged out. So now you're shocking these kids, putting them back into classrooms that they don't even know, teachers they don't even know, and you're trying to readjust them. And I'm not blaming teachers because a lot of this is on the parents that you haven't kept them on the schedules that we as teachers have instilled in them. A lot of what teachers have done the last 4 months have been undone. I mean, I commend the parents who have tried to stay on top of a daily schedule, but again, life happens. What can you do when you're trying to work from home and you have a toddler or a 2-year-old that won't leave you alone? They think it's play day all day with mommy and daddy. So I get that. I wholeheartedly understand that. I don't know, y'all. I'm not usually at a loss for words, or I don't usually go brain blank when it comes to certain things, but this is something I've gone brain blank with because I am trying to figure out how this is supposed to work when you have teachers that can't come back to work because they have nobody to leave their kids with. Again, it goes back to these companies that are now pressing the city to reopen so they can make their money, and you haven't rolled out anything to better benefit your teachers. I'll give you another example. I'm not going to put the girl on blast, but this young lady in this Facebook group that I'm in, she works in another state, so this isn't in New York. She said her program is open, and a teacher came down with corona. Okay. Teacher came down with corona. An infant teacher came down with corona. Y'all know they ain't closed that program? They told Shorty stay home for 2 weeks. Program's still up and running. So New York, if that's what y'all finna do, a lot of us ain't coming back. A lot of us ain't businessing with it, because if the world was shut down, then you got to do a little bit more than tell a teacher to stay home for 2 weeks. I'm just saying. But again, this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out, being that a massive holiday just passed, and I know nobody was in. I mean, I was inside because I was doing homework, but I know a lot of y'all was out. Y'all was outside with y'all kids. Y'all had y'all kids at the beaches, the pools, whatever is clever in other states. You like it, I love it. I've been in my house, I've been in quarantine chilling. So you like it, I love it. I don't know New York. I mean, I know we're all ready to go back to work, but at what cost? And I'm not even talking on the corona tip, because y'all already know how I feel about corona and how I feel about this whole pandemic and the government. Y'all already know how I give it up. But I don't know how I feel about it, in the sense that a lot of things aren't really being changed except cleaning policies. And again, y'all are going to have to tell y'all closers, the closing shift is going to be mad at how much cleaning they're going to have to do. So I would hope if you have a good co-teacher, y'all figure out a very good cleaning routine for the day, so the closing person isn't stuck with everything. Y'all also got to do better with these cleaning crews. These cleaning crews that don't want to move garbage cans and sweep the dust from behind the garbage cans, and they're not wiping stuff down. Openers. I gave this tip on Facebook, so I'm going to give it here. Openers. When you come in the morning and you don't have no kids, prop your door open and turn the fan or the air conditioner on and air your room out. I'm telling you, do it. I want to say from February until my center closed, that is what I did in the morning. I propped my door open, I sprayed everything with Lysol, and I turned the fan on and just let it run until my first kid came. I'm telling you, these jobs ain't going to take care of y'all. Take care of yourself. They not going to do. Corporate ain't going to take care of you. As crazy as it sounds to say, they're not. So I'm just trying to help y'all out. But that's all I got to say about that. I'll put the NBC and the Daily News articles in the description below. And like I said, just to my fellow teachers, just take care of yourselves. Don't go back if you are not ready. Don't let your job force you into coming back if you have nobody to take care of your kids. Parents, if you know you don't need your child in daycare right now, let the people who need it use it, especially if they're cutting ratios. If you know you don't need it, please let the people who are like essential workers and the people who don't have the luxury of being able to afford daycare and a nanny, let them utilize the daycare first because they are in need. If you are looking for a nanny or a babysitter, call me. My email will be down below as well. Until then, guys, it's been real. It's been really real. I will keep you guys posted on life, daycare life post COVID-19.